Okay, and anyway, what I want to say now is that today and on Sunday, every Sunday we practice Chenrezig sadhana, and so if your Dhamma practices is a vehicle, that vehicle takes you to liberation and Buddhahood. So that's your Dhamma practice. Then the Chenrezig practice is the like a main engine, and then you come to Vihara and once a week at least on a Sunday practicing is like recharging the engine, right? So our spiritual or dharma practices we carry on in our everyday life with whatever activities and what we are doing and whatever situation we are in, wherever places we are, we should try to carry on our dharma practices with us all the time. But then, of course, that's not an easy thing. If that is easy thing, we would be liberated by now. But we are still stuck in samsara, so that's obviously not an easy thing. So for that, the Chenrezig practice is one of the most profound and effective, which allows you to practice all the teachings of Buddha in one form of practice. So when you do the Chenrezig practice, then there's from going refuge to the rituals, and then the generating or cultivating Bodhicitta, and then there's shamatha vipassana, but then more deeper than just shamatha and vipassana, there's a creation and completion stage, and then a very effective way of cultivating unconditional kind of the loving kindness, compassion towards all sentient beings. And then the mantra, 6 syllables, the just reciting. This is seriously in the sutras mentioned. Buddha, just reciting one time is the virtue, power of virtue of the that recitation is limitless and cannot be measured. So there we here in doing the practice, and then we recite quite many times. Usually we recite 11 malas, and so then there's a proper dedication and all that. So while practicing sadhana, then we also read with a different language, your own language, and then Tibetan both together. So you know how to meditate while you're reading, and so all that becomes very, very profound. And then this affects in your during the week. Then there's a strong influence come from that during Sunday's practice. During the week, any kind of experience or situations you are going through, still you have a sense of wisdom, compassion, loving kindness, and then of course a strong sense of cultivation of virtues, then brings a better situation, and then you can deal with the situation in a better way. And the most importantly, you can take advantage of this situation to enhance or progress one's path to liberation, which is the Dhamma, levels of achievements of Dhamma practice. So all that then become Chenrezig practice is like main engine of your vehicle. If you have a vehicle, you don't have the engine, then you can maybe push the vehicle, but very slow. But this vehicle needs, if you have a vehicle and an engine, but then there's no energy to run the engine, then again problem, right? So it's the engine need to be recharged, and so recharge is depend on the environment influence with the community and all that. If I myself alone out there in where environment influences opposite negative way, opposite of generosity practice, opposite of Dhamma practice, very influences very mundane, the worldly influence. Okay, so then I cannot recharge. I will recharge more worldly energy, and then I become against I lose interest in Dharma practice. And the more you stay, the longer you stay out there with where environment, worldly influence is strong, then further you will be from Dharma practice, and sometime later, then we may lose a whole totally interest in Dharma practice. So that's why it's important to get that influence, and especially in front of a holy shrine here, a very elaborate holy shrine is here. So at the vihara, then once a week with the spiritual, the Dharma community, and you practice, and so that is, I said, researching. So as we see, practice generosity sadhana is not only praying, but it becomes a vehicle of a practitioner to transform or cultivate all the qualities of enlightenment, Buddhahood, and purify or transform the defilements that creates samsara and samsaric sufferings to us. So when that is completed, then we say person achieve Buddhahood, right? Until then, that generosity practices become the machine, engine, or become vehicle. So not only prayer generally, I think we always understand prayer is something like there's a powerful being, then we're asking favor, or we are thanks to the powerful being that giving us whatever favor that we have received, something that communicating with the powerful being or help us like that. And generally, I think other religion, in Buddhist also, there's influence very strong, and they often understand that prayer means I go to do the generosity prayer means literally they understand that generosity bodhisattva powerful person, and then I ask some help if I have problem. If I don't have problem, then nothing to do with generosity. Just you're a great bodhisattva there, then nothing to do much with generosity. So like that, but the real is generally all the tantra practices. It's not like that. When deity is a vehicle that transforms. Through this deity practice, you cultivate all that enlightenment qualities gradually, and your mind, the practitioner's mind transformed all the purification and cultivation. That process happens with the deity practice, particularly here. This generosity sadhana is like that. So, but of course, then included some prayers that's connected with Avalokiteshvara's powerful aspirations, and that brings us also blessing and to change the situation is in a better way, of course.